Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk QI. This week's viewer recommendation takes us to Series O. It's a Sandi Toksvig hosted episode, and a few little things have been spoiled for me, but I'm excited because of that. This one is called Occult. It's episode 12, and I also see that Noel Fielding is one of our guests. And I can't think of a British celebrity more on point for the Occult episode than Noel, unless, you know, you're going to resurrect Aleister Crowley himself or something for the episode. So this should be a lot of fun. I'm wondering if this was the Halloween episode or if this just happened to be an O word that they had picked out. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm ready to jump into it. I hope you guys are too. If you're so inclined, check out my Patreon where you can see full-length versions of all of my reactions. You just need your own copy, but I always include the YouTube link to the particular episode that I reacted to. And it's also an incredibly wonderful way to support the channel. That support is always greatly appreciated. If Patreon isn't for you, I totally get it, but don't forget to leave a like and comment if anything about this episode especially got your attention. Yeah, let's jump into it, guys. This is episode 12 from Series O, Occult.
Tonight's show is an otherworldly odyssey through the mysterious occult. Please offer up oblations to the Prince of Darkness, Russell Brand.
Another very on-point guest.
Beast of Revelations, Ashlingby.
We like Ashling too. This is great.
The Lord of the Flies, Noel Fielding.
Nice. Oh, this is a great cast for this episode.
It's Alan Davies.
I was really hoping there'd be a new car under there, but it's just Alan.
Alan goes.
That's nice and ominous. How's it going to finish?
We're going to begin with some mind reading, but those of you who are psychic will already know that. We have asked some members of our front row to write some words on cards, and do you believe in this kind of thing? Believe in mind reading?
Yes.
Okay. So in order for this to work, I need to make my mind a complete blank. Alan, how do I do that? I'm going to place the card to my head, and I need to concentrate.
This is the amazing Karnak, classic Johnny Carson.
Potato. Anybody say? You did say potato. Okay, very good. Indeed. Okay, let's do the next one. Something to be synchronicity. Just the synchronicity is your word.
She's a witch burner.
Oh, this one's nice. Mushroom. I think it's mushroom. Yes, absolutely. Well, there we go. That'll do.
Okay.
Does anybody know how I did that? Does anybody have any idea how that?
You cheated.
You didn't read mine.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
I'm astounded that we're all just sat here while you have unravelled one of the great mysteries of the universe. Now we're going to have to work out through which necromancy you have taken over Bake Off.
I'm going to take a blank card like this, and I'm going to write a word myself on it, and I'm going to stick it in an envelope. Let's put it on there so that I can't cheat with it. You can all see it. In World War I, there's a wonderful story. There was a lot of paranoia in Europe, as you can imagine. And there was a lady's maid, and she was stopped and strip-searched in Germany, and they found secret writing on her bottom. And they sent it to German military intelligence. Her bottom was much discussed and much looked at. It turned out that the maid on the train had been worried that the loo would be dirty, and she'd put newspaper on the seat. There was a mentalist who used to be known as Alexander, the man who knows.
I've got that very poster.
Have you?
Yep.
His real name was Claude Conlon, and he was from South Dakota.
I got it in Coney Island. Contortionists and people who stick nails in themselves. They're the people who do actual extraordinary things.
Get a real job.
Yeah. Sideshow stuff. Jim Rose Circus sideshow.
But he was quite a guy, Alexander. He married 8 to 14 women, many at the same time. We don't know exactly how many.
14 women?
Yeah, it's
That's not that many, is it?
Conservative mind bender.
I can't tell you how we read the mind of our front row, but I can say that we have a plant in the audience.
Yay.
And I want you to tell me how you would use it to burgle a house.
You put their fingerprints on there, then you put this very discreet garment on your other hand and wander into Canary Wharf. Don't judge me by that. I move among you. I love you.
I don't know why we didn't think of that. We wanted to set fire to them, but apparently it's health and safety nightmare.
Why is fire allowed there and not near Noel?
I think
Now
the worry
understand.
was...
Who wants me to try?
Are you left or right-handed?
Well, the glove is left-hand.
Yeah, but... Is that it?
I used to do
Answer to your
this with...
question, Sandy, while they're doing that, I go and burgle the house.
Yeah.
Is that what Happy
Nice to meet you.
birthday to
Blow me out.
Pretty rubbish, pigs thing. You needed the pickled hand of a hanged man to make a candle from the fat of the condemned man, make the wick out of his hair. It's called a hand of glory. And the hand of glory had a...
That's not a hand of glory, Sam. That's a hand of glory. It was a race.
Sweet when boys are so pleased with themselves.
It's a good job this desk is here.
You're all right. Held one of these when you went into somebody's house, it would have a stupefying effect upon them and put them to sleep.
Or just wait till they go on holiday.
Well, the Observer in 1831 reported on the 16th of January, burglars entered a house in County Meath, armed with a dead man's hand with a lighted candle in it. Do you think it worked?
No.
I'm saying
They
no.
woke instantly and raised the alarm.
Scream their heads off.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got a burning hand!
Anybody know where the term hand of glory comes from?
Russell.
I'm looking the wrong way.
I don't know, but I'm going to Google it and see whose picture comes up.
It's an old word for the mandrake root, mandragore.
Oh, okay.
Which was supposed to look a bit
Harry
like
Potter
Davies.
link.
In fact, the Irish butter makers would incorporate a dead man's hand taken fresh from the graveyard in their recipes, and the milk would be stirred around 9 times with the hand.
Gross.
Just on behalf of Ireland, that is no longer done. Please continue to wearing if you
This
can.
message brought to you by the Irish Dairy Board.
I didn't mention in the recipe for the hand of glory, it needs to be the left hand. Why would that be?
Makes it feel like it's someone else.
Is it something to do with Satan?
It's to do with it being sinister, so sinister is
Yeah.
the Latin word for left.
Of course.
In Ireland, they think the devil is in your left hand. They used to beat it out of kids and force them to write with the right hand.
Really?
I don't want to say it, but like, it was the nuns! Most kids were forced, probably I'd say until the 70s, to do everything with the right hand.
That's brutal.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a fantastic one from a 15th century manuscript. Whoever steals this book will hang on a gallows in Paris, and if he isn't hung, he'll drown, and if he doesn't drown, he'll roast, and if he doesn't roast, a worse end will befall him.
He's covering a lot of bases there.
It's really.
You don't want that book stolen.
No.
Something bad's going to happen to you.
Which horny member of royalty is immune from any form of legal prosecution?
Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Is it like a royal cow or something?
The royal
No,
goat.
There should be,
The
I think.
royal cow.
That's a snail, what you're doing.
Florence and Dougal.
And there was the one who's based on Bob Dylan, the
Dylan.
rabbit.
And he was stoned all the time. Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan, yeah.
Dylan.
Yes, we just said that.
We
Thank
said
you.
That person
Just woke up.
was absorbed.
Talking about Magic Roundabout! Dylan!
The guy's just beginning to get the hang of mind reading.
In the context of the occult,
Yes.
who is a horny royal?
Devil.
The devil is exactly right.
Oh, of
Can't
course.
prosecute the devil?
No, so
No, the devil has his own advocate.
attempted to sue the devil, and there is the case. The first point that was raised by the judge was that he wasn't sure that they could prosecute Satan, as Satan was technically a foreign prince, and if sued, he might be able to claim immunity.
Surely it's a typo. He meant Stan.
Or
In the
Santa.
end, they refused his request because nobody could find an address to serve the Satan the papers. But do you know about the devil's advocate? Do you know about that? It used to be a proper job, and it was the job of the devil's advocate to argue the case against proposed sainthood. So his job was to say, this person's going to come up to be a saint. I don't think it's a good idea. It was got rid of by Pope John Paul II in 1983, and the number of saints just shot through the roof. When Mother Teresa was nominated for the sainthood, Christopher Hitchens was asked by the Roman Catholic Church to say why it was a bad idea for her to be. And he stood up and made a speech and said, basically, she's a wrong and...
Wow. It's like a roast.
Yeah, it is. Anybody know the correct way to greet the devil?
Deference, and it go down on one knee,
Yeah.
a little bit of a hornpipe, stick an elbow out, 2 thumbs up. Come on, take us on a wild, giddy journey.
OK, down on one knee is a good place to start.
See?
No, not blowy.
It's the kiss of shame. You have to kiss ass. You have to kiss his ass there, too.
What?
Yeah.
He lifts his own tail, or do you have to lift his tail?
Flick that tail right up, reveal the anus, a little wink, give us a kiss.
I'd like if it was like a Pez dispenser. So, like, when it lifts up, you get a little devil sweet. You're like, thank you.
You've crossed the line. Did you hear that noise? Sweets from the devil's arse? No. But we're drawing the line there. We like Pez, and you've ruined it for us.
We think of you as a sort of a shambling, lovable figure, but you actually are sensing stuff like a shaman.
You're reading their minds, Alan.
Yeah.
No, they just made a funny noise.
Sculptures. Which is the constipated one?
They look like the four
Number
stages
4.
of Victor Meldrew.
Constipated one is number 3.
Oh, number 3,
Strong
okay.
odour and the vexed one.
I'd be vexed if I was constipated.
Franz Messerschmitt decided to record what he referred to as the 64 canonical grimaces of the human face with sculpture. You mentioned necromancy, he's very interested in that, using magic to communicate with the deity. Time for mind reading number 2. Aisling, please channel Carol Vorderman for me, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I get that reference. We have to do some math.
Alan can help you with that.
Well, I think I'm all right.
No, I mean, hold it up so that the audience can see what you're writing.
Oh, I see what
Yes,
you mean.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Thank God I got this big, strong man with me to carry this heavy old board.
Any random number, please? Just a single-digit number? It wasn't a difficult question. Was it? Not that many of them. 8.
On the spot, though.
You're going to write a 3-digit number, and there's going to be quite a lot of numbers.
So 8.
Oh, dear God. 2, number 2.
Okay, 2.
Okay, there we go.
Quite disturbed by your handwriting.
Reverse the digits underneath. It's fine, keep going.
Stick it upside down.
It's not really complicated, what I'm asking you to do. Subtract the smaller number from the larger.
So we take 8 from 7, just
It's
not possible.
99.
We all know that.
Come on.
9.
What? Stop saying no at me in German and tell me what the
Now reverse those digits, add them together.
So 18.
No.
No.
So 9 and
It's
0.
1089.
1089. So, Noel, I'm going to pass you a copy of 1,342 QI facts to leave you flabbergasted.
Is it always going to be 1089?
Take the 10th word on page 89 and tell me what it is.
Yeah.
What is it?
French.
French. Here's the envelope that I did earlier, and
Yeah,
there
it's always
is the
1089.
word French.
It's always 1089.
Sandy, you clearly are Satan born again. Show me the correct greeting once more.
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
I don't know.
Because 7, 8, 9.
And that's brought us right back to the level that we're normally used to. Does anybody want to know how I did it?
Yes.
It's always 1089.
Can you tell me the final title in Shakespeare's oeuvre?
The Tempest was his last play, was it not?
He's a genius. Make him a saint, or should we? I'm hungry, and Noel's hungry too. Has anyone got a banana? There, that lady's got one.
Was that mind reading?
Yes,
Whoa.
People have got bananas.
How many I've never stopped to have a banana during the show. That's never been Why has the whole audience got bananas?
We're just chucking bananas down onto the stage.
Has anyone got a bit of toast with Marmite?
Oh, I'd love some Marmite toast.
Thank you. It's starting to affect my consciousness.
Well, the good thing is it didn't show. So, does anybody know how Shakespeare died?
Kissing Satan's arse.
Syphilis?
It gives it away that he was born and died on the same day.
Something happened with his birthday cake.
We think he possibly had too much to drink on his
Happy
birthday.
birthday to you.
They don't want to say, you know, Shakespeare, lightweight.
Yeah, brilliant. Come on, last work.
They
authored by
celebrated
Shakespeare.
birthdays.
The Tempest.
Oh.
It's not a play, it is a work.
Is it one of the... He wrote a bunch of the Psalms, didn't he?
I can tell you it was written in 1920.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did someone channel him?
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Books written by authors after their death are still catalogued under their own name. So his last work, the book for him I name for Jesus' sake by William Shakespeare, brackets, Spirit.
So the royalties of that go to his family?
Sadly not. I think they go to Sarah Taylor Shatford, who wrote it.
Shatford.
Shatford.
Is Shatford on the Avon as well?
That is a weird Ouija board scenario. That's a gingham shirt, and they're clearly on public transport.
Thomas Edison, too. He tried to invent a spirit telephone.
But it's no sillier than anything else. Like you're saying, we do want to believe in magic. No one's a true skeptic, I think.
Well, there was a very famous Irish medium called Geraldine Cummins, and my great-aunt, Sina Toksvig, edited her book of automatic writings.
Is automatic writing quickly
is when you just sit down with a pen...
And you're channeling
and
a spirit.
you're channeling the spirit.
Like when you was doing that maths.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that. And my mother went, oh, my God, that's my grandmother. And the woman went, oh, isn't it typical? You finally get through and you get the wrong old woman. What did the yogurt say to the CIA interrogator?
Probably saying, this will get rid of your thrush in 2 days.
Wasn't that an episode of Love, Death,
So there was
and
an
Robots?
interrogation specialist for the CIA.
Intelligent yogurt.
And in 1966, on a rather strange whim, he hooked up a houseplant to a lie detector, looking for an anxiety response, so he got a match. And this caused a sensation. And he expanded his research further, and he hooked up the polygraph machine to lettuce, to onions, to oranges, and yogurt.
Very chatty.
Never shuts up.
Yeah. One sample of yogurt, for example, will react when another is being fed, as if to say, that one's getting food, where's mine? Now, what's the worst omen you can see on a football pitch? Are footballers superstitious?
Yes.
Is it a young woman with a list of allegations?
Ouch.
1990 World Cup.
Right.
There was an Argentine goalkeeper called Sergio Goycochea. Argentina's quarter-final was against Yugoslavia, and it ended in a draw, which meant they had to do penalty shootout. He needed to wee, but he wasn't allowed to leave the field. So his teammates surrounded him, and he had a wee, and he then blocked 2 penalty shots. And he went on to urinate on the field again before the semi-final penalty shootout against Italy. He blocked 2 shots, and they went on into the finals, but they lost the finals against West Germany because...
He didn't pee.
He didn't urinate.
He didn't wee because...
He didn't go to a shooter. When they stood around him, did they look in or out, do you know?
Do you know, I always think I've got all the information I need for this.
Was it Barry Fry who weed in all 4 corners of the ground? Do you remember that?
Yes, I believe that is a fact.
I thought you said Barry Cryer.
No, not
Tell me who Barry Cryer is.
Yes, it's going to go horrible
It's going
colour.
to go a horrible colour.
Yellow.
So big shout out to those guys at home listening. We feel your pain.
No, that's dogs who do that.
I don't know, I've left some crazy marks on some exes' lawns.
This is Tommaso, the world's richest cat. According to legend, how many lives does he have?
Well, now usually
Yes.
they have
9'll be a
one
klaxon.
less than 10.
Yes.
One more than
I can tell you that he is Italian, and that has a bearing.
Because he's got so many pasta lives.
Look, that is actually professional comedy you just witnessed.
The number of lives that a cat has in superstition varies from culture to culture. So the Italians
Is it
believe it is
7? Oh, okay.
He was a stray adopted by an elderly Italian woman named Maria Assunta, and when she died in 2011, she bequeathed him $13 million. I would totally do it, and I don't like cats.
I'd sit at the bottom of an old man's bed and drink milk naked for 13 million, for probably 20 quid.
But if you put them in a tumble dryer, they will die.
They will.
Eventually.
He's still alive! Go again!
This is the 8th cycle.
Naval tradition generally believes they protect vessels, and that even extended to airships. So the America was a dirigible. It was built in 1906.
I can see why a cat on a ship would be
And
a
they
good
brought
thing.
along
Keep
a
the
cat
rat
called
population
Kiddo, and it was a
down.
mascot, and Kiddo hated being on a dirigible. What's interesting about the America, it was the very first airborne vessel to be fitted with a radio, and the first ever air-to-ground radio communication from an aircraft was, "Roy, come and get this goddamn cat." What should you use to make a traditional jack-o'-lantern?
Pumpkin.
No. It's going to be like a turnip or something, isn't it?
Yes.
A turnip.
A turnip is exactly right. Yes. And if you can't get a turnip, something called a mangel wurzel, which is on the right. Do you know where the tradition of Halloween comes from? I'm looking at Ashley.
Best country in the world, Sandy?
Denmark.
Oh, no.
No.
Ireland came from Samhain, S-A-M-H-A-I-N, which is Halloween. All
Oh,
Hallows
Sam Hain.
We
Yeah.
celebrate our dead.
How do you say it? Because it looks like Sam Hain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Samhain.
Sound.
Samhain.
Just haven't got time to say the whole thing properly.
Yeah.
You can see why they moved on to pumpkin.
But I want you to tell me which of these sticks is a wand. So I'm going to give this one to Ashley.
It's
There
a
we go.
staff
I'm going
or a
to
cane.
give this one to Noel. There we go.
Or even a
Then
baton.
I'm going to... That's for Alan. Oh. Anybody know what a wand used to be?
Walking stick?
It's a unit of length. It was originally equivalent to a modern metre.
Oh, okay. So it's basically a yard.
So, Noel, you've got something. It's called an arse. It's an old Turkish unit meaning forearm. So, you know in the Bible it says...
Oh, it's like a cubit.
Yes, by cubits.
That's that measure. And the one you've got, Russell, is Mongolian. It's an old. So it's the width of a man's arms outstretched. It was used in the time of Genghis Khan.
Yeah, but that's basically a man's height, isn't it?
Alan, your little one is actually a measure. It's a pyramid inch, which briefly in the 19th century they
Pyramid
believed was the
inch.
measure that had been used by the Egyptians to build their pyramids. The other one you've got, Alan, is a Scandinavian measure. And do you know what it's called? It's 60 centimetres long.
2 feet.
No.
And it's called an Allen.
Is it?
An Allen?
None of ones. Does anybody know what you have to say in order to get a magic wand?
Please.
That was genuinely alarming.
Genuinely.
Last place with minus 17. Noel Fielding! Third place, Russell! With minus 2, it's Alan! And that means...
Mom?
This week I've won. No, it means with no points at all. This week's winner is Ashley!
With a 0.
This is the skull of one of the QI researchers, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice. An elf
So there you
skull.
are, Ashley. There is your object to take home.
Is it a real skull?
Yes, of course, darling. Look at the size of it. Your biology as good as your maths. A colleague broke into his bedroom dressed as a devil with horns on his head and shouted, "Mr. Cuvier, I'm going to eat you," to which he replied, "All animals with horns and hooves are herbivorous," and he went back to sleep. Thank you and good night.
It's true. No horned carnivores. I didn't know this was going to be a Russell Brand episode, too. That's fun. He's a character. I don't know how I feel about him. He's got a very unique energy. He's hilarious in some of his acting roles, but he's always essentially playing himself, I find. Or at least just sort of an exaggeration of himself. But I also listened to one of his audiobooks, and while I certainly didn't agree with everything he said, I thought it was intelligently organized. I thought, like, he had some really interesting thoughts. It was thought-provoking, even if I didn't agree with all of his thoughts. a surprisingly intelligent guy, I think. But I'd love to know. I feel like he's a divisive character in the UK, and some people love him, and other people think he's a complete moron. But I might be wrong. Let me know. What do you think of Russell Brand? I know my audience skews a little conservative and a little older, so I'm especially curious to see what the older generation's view of Russell Brand may be. Aisling B's always great. Noel Fielding. You know, it's weird. Like, I feel like I know... I've seen a ton of Noel's stuff, but in retrospect, I haven't really. I mean, you know, sure, the episodes of the IT Crowd that he's guest starred on, I don't think I've seen him act in anything else. Although I know, like, The Mighty Boosh has been recommended, that sort of thing. But I'm more curious, like... I know he pops up on a lot of, like, big fat quizzes and that sort of thing. I'll be doing a bunch of those, I think, around the holiday season. A handful of them, anyway. Hopefully I can fit them into the schedule. Maybe I'll take a short recess from QI to do some big fat quizzes. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, it was a really fun episode. I like learning new stuff. I don't know where I knew that turnips were the original pumpkins. I didn't... You know, it's interesting about Halloween because obviously it started, I think, in the UK. It didn't start here in North America, but it's become very much a North American holiday. We seem to do it much more... It's a much bigger deal here than I think it is anywhere else in the world. With the costuming and the trick-or-treating. For a lot of North Americans, it's their favorite holiday of the year. Yeah, it's just a really substantial deal here. And obviously a lot of that's just the Americanization of it. It's a great way to sponsor consumerism. Any excuse for us to eat a lot of candy will always be capitalized upon. A lot of our holidays have primarily turned into excuses to overeat, whether it's candy on Halloween or just massive feasting on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Chocolate comes back at Easter time and at Valentine's as well. Yeah, it's very much a what's our excuse to cheat on our diet. That's why we celebrate. 4th of July and Canada Day, exactly the same. Let's have a big old barbecue and get drunk. That's pretty much... Light off some fireworks, too. Anyhow, yeah, I feel like this was like a really well-chosen cast for this particular episode. I'm a little distracted, and I'm not going to lie, because the math nerd in me is doing the math of why 1089 will always be the answer to the operations that Sandi had Aisling do on the whiteboard. And so if you pick 3 random numbers, X, Y, and Z, and create a 3-digit number out of them, you've got 100X plus 10Y plus Z, and then you reverse them, and so that second number is 100Z plus 10Y plus X. And if you subtract... Was it subtract? Yeah, if you subtract one from the other, then you have... What do you have? 99x minus 99z, or 99x minus z. And then if you reverse that, I need to do it on paper, but I'm pretty sure it'll always end up being 990 plus 99. And that's 1089. No magic at it at all. You just go to the word, that book, that combination, the 10th page, the 10th chapter, the 8th page, the 9th word, whatever she said. Just pick that random word from a book and know it in advance. Anyhow, trickery. Not magic, not mind reading. Trickery. Although I do want to know the first... I guess if you literally had a plant in the audience in the row behind, because all the 3 words that she mind read at the beginning of the episode were people from the second row. So somebody in the third row could have easily looked over their shoulders and told her for the earpiece before she took the earpiece out. Yeah, easy. Mushroom, potato. What was the other one? Simpatico? Something like that. Anyway, if I had written a word, it would have been lenticular. I don't know where my head's at right now. But this was a fun episode. Thank you guys so much for spending a little time with me today here on Neil Talks. It's always appreciated. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. That's where the comments go. I don't know where my head's at today. I feel so weird. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Love your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Oh, dear God.